Naomi Girma, but it's the front line that have to start putting the ball in the back of the net.
Certainly so. Now, this is a San Diego team that defends, and they've got one of the best defenders in the world in Naomi Girma. Maybe you wonder what it's like walking into a venue about 2 hours before kickoff. Naomi stopped by to chat with us. It's time now for the First Touch, presented by Allstate. Naomi, obviously back from international break, a great honor for you. First camp under Emma Hayes. Try and describe the excitement about getting back, but also a little bit about the camp you just experienced.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I think we've been waiting for a while as a team, and it was just exciting to get into camp and have Emma and the rest of the staff there. There was just a great energy within the group. So I think we had a great week of training and 2 good results that we can hope to build off of moving forward.
A remarkable honor for a young center back to be given the captain's armband late in the game against South Korea. What did that moment mean for you?
It was a huge honor for me. I think getting to wear the captain's armband on the U.S. national team is always such an honor, and there have been such incredible players for me. So I think to be trusted with that was really special for me.
And Naomi, you know, as you're getting into the stadium now, what are your pre-game rituals like? Are you superstitious? Are there anything you do on a game day that you want to shed a little bit of light on?
I'm not very superstitious. I try not to be, but usually come in, have a snack, keep fueling.
And now you're 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Like, the only way is up for you. You know, one of the best defenders in the league. What goals do you still have for yourself that you set?
I think there's a lot of goals. I feel like I haven't reached my potential. So as a team, just wanting to keep winning championships and keep putting ourselves in good positions to, you know, try to win the league and make it to playoffs. And then as a player, just want to keep growing both on and off the field as a leader and just keep working on my game.
Amazing. As it pertains to the game tonight, Orlando, you've got a big task in front of you. Barbara Banda and Marta and this Pride team that's unbeaten. Try and walk me through what your mindset is coming into this game.
Yeah, we know Orlando has a lot of great attacking threats. They've been doing really well so far. So I think for us, it's just making sure we try to take as many of those threats away, try to make sure that we're as organized as possible as a team, and then making sure that we can exploit them and hurt them where they're vulnerable.
Naomi, one last question for you. We talk about fit checks all around the league, and it appears you are ready to roll tonight. Walk us through the jersey setup that you brought in.
Yep, I've got a San Diego jersey on, number 4, the Nike Dunks. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm ready to go. I'm excited.
Love it.
Thanks, Naomi. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Good luck tonight. Now that's a fit check. And yeah, her arm's a little bit tired. Thank goodness we play with our feet here in the NWSL. We're closing in on kickoff. Thanks, Naomi. We've got the Wave and the Pride coming up on Prime.
I'm a guy who lost a bet and my dignity.
Get out of the way!
As if watching my team lose wasn't punishment enough. What are you looking at, huh? What are you? It's a 1-speed. And if you have cut rate car insurance, odds are you'll be paying for that yourself. So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem, like me. Hey, I'm
These are all keepers. Store more, share more. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us and get a great deal on iPad and Apple Watch SE. Connect with AT&T.
Some of the most brilliant minds in business. No, not you. Or you. You auto-track business income and expenses with QuickBooks. And you pay all your employees easily and accurately. And you have a business bank account with market-leading APY. Get the full picture of your business on one platform, now with expert help when you need it. That's how you business differently.
Friday night in the NWSL means Prime Video.
Right on 3, 1, 2, 3. Right! Play 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right! Show me what you
Here we go on this Friday night. Alex Morgan played with the national team on Tuesday night. Now her first start in the league since an ankle injury sidelined her in Orlando on April 19th. Take a look at the starting 11 for Casey Stoney.
Yeah, we see that one change there, Mike. You know, Elise Bennett drops out and Alex Morgan back in, but I think this back line, you know, they're very good. Naomi Girma, she just leads the line in an incredible way of Abby Dolkamper. And we can see Dani Colaprico as well will be somebody that needs to get on the ball and then provide that service. Alex Morgan makes good runs, and it's down to the players like Maria Sanchez and Savannah McCaskill to get the ball to Alex Morgan in those areas.
Meanwhile, for Orlando, Wednesday, midnight, Marta arrives in San Diego from international duty in Brazil. Could make her 100th regular season appearance for Orlando tonight, but begins on the bench. One of a handful of changes. Rafaeli and Adriana both unavailable. They're back in Orlando. That's rest. Here's the lineup as submitted by Haley Carter. It really is a 4-4-2.
It really is, Mike, and I think, you know, Kylie Strom leading this team. She even said to us yesterday that she's an outside back, but she'll play anywhere for this team, and she thought being a centre back was just going to be a makeshift situation, but she's done so well there along with Sams, and I think Dyke coming into this lineup is a big call from Seb Hines. I think a lot of other players, you know, Ali Lemos would have been looking to get a shout. Marta will definitely come off the bench, but I think obviously ultimately it's all about Barbara Banda.
Banda, 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 Banda. That's where we're at in the NWSL. Now tied with Sophia Smith for the most goals in the league, top of the Golden Boot table. The Zambian has come in and revolutionized Orlando's playing style. Can she continue to add to that tally tonight in her 8th game for the Pride? What an occasion it is. Banda and Morgan, this Orlando team, 8 straight victories. Naomi Girma in San Diego, one of the best defenses in the NWSL. They want to get back on the right side of the ledger tonight. It's a big game. It's on Prime. This Friday night, San Diego welcome Orlando. It's hard not to get excited about this one, Leanne. You've got the Shield winner on hard times, and yet feeling like they're playing better than their record would indicate. You've got this Orlando team that's broken through records already after narrowly missing the playoffs last year. This has all the makings of a game you'd love to see again come October and November, too.
It has, and the stats don't lie. You know, everything's built up for the Orlando Pride team to win this one, but I think with this San Diego Wave team, they need a good performance. They need a complete performance because it hasn't been good enough, and Casey Stoney always looks in with them, but I think the players have to start stepping up, putting the ball in the back of the net, creating opportunities in front of the goal, and converting them.
This is overcooked, gets out of play. Fun part about Orlando is they don't feel like they're finished yet. And you talk to Seb Hines and he said, we haven't really accomplished anything. We've won a few games. Now, to be fair, you could argue that he's sort of the king of understatement, but Seb Hines in his 2nd full season at the helm, working wonders. Ball in behind, asking questions for San Diego, but the question is answered by the offside flag, Maya Jones running amok.
Yeah, and I said to Seb Hines yesterday, I was like, you must be bouncing off the walls with the performances, and he's so laid back, and he's like, we're quietly confident, and when you're in this type of moment, I said the same thing, sometimes when the international break comes, a lot of the coaches and managers, they don't like those types of breaks, but for some teams, like a San Diego Wave team, it might be good for them to get that reset to come back even better, because San Diego Wave this year have underachieved, and they have quality players, and I've no doubt that when they get going, they won the Shield last year in a similar position to what they're in now.
Sams in the back line alongside Kylie Strom tonight with Rafaeli out. All the while for Casey Stoney, really cogent points. Think about this. This is the team with about 35% worse conversion rate than the 2 previous seasons. They've got a shooting radius closer than any team in the league. and yet the offense just hasn't gone, but she knows the chances are there.
Yeah, and they're creating them. You'd be more concerned if they weren't getting into those positions. And that's what leads me to believe there's a lot of players within this team, Mike, that are just not in full. And these things happen. The coaches can only do so much. It's down to you to look from within your performance. And scoring goals in this league, I've always said, is not an easy thing to do. There's certain players, Barbara Banda, Sophia Smith, Trinity Robin, they make it look easy scoring goals in this league. There's a reason why when you get the Golden Boot, no one's getting 25 goals a season. It's the hardest league in the world, I think, to score goals in, genuinely.
To be fair, Banda's kind of working on that level of season.
She is, but it's not something we always see, Mike. You know, the Golden Boot winner usually averages like, 10, 11 goals. And it's a hard league to score in, but Barbara Banda, I mean, what a season she's having so far. It's hard to imagine her not being here, isn't it?
Sophia Smith on the same 8 goals. Banda, of course, just 7 games, arrived. Play her first game against San Diego is the second game of this 8-game winning streak. Began in the middle of April.
She's unplayable at this moment in time, and we said to her yesterday, when you're in these types of moments, everything you touches goes in, and you just want every single training session to come, every single game to come quick and fast, because when you're in that type of form, she's unstoppable.
For Banda, Cola Prico out of play, belongs to the Pride in their citrus kits tonight.
Lovely kits, Mike, and we're grateful for the gift Jackie Maynard and Lucas gave us, but they are a nightmare for a commentator because you cannot see the numbers on the back of the shirts. It's a good job we know all the players, Mike.
True enough. This is Alex Morgan. Through the legs of Lundqvist into the Orlando bench. Well, as far as kick games go, this is about as good as it's going to get.
It is. They're beautiful kits, but I think, going back to Alex Morgan there, I think she needs to have a good game. I think obviously the Olympics is coming, they're just around the corner, and that position in that number 9 spot for the US Women's National Team is probably one of the most heavily contested positions in the world right now, in that position for the US Women's National Team. Emma Hayes has got really tough decisions to make, and you've got Trinity Robbins, Sophia Smith, Jaden Shaw, Alex Morgan, the list could go on. Lynn Williams outside chance as well.
Morgan missed the first game of the international break. Played on Tuesday. Here's Jaden Shaw, slips it ahead for McCaskill. And an idea of what San Diego wants more of. More runners coming into the penalty area. It's swarmed by Morehouse in the end.
And that's the type of ball, Mike, that needs to happen. Jaden Shaw dropping out to the right-hand side. Savannah McCaskill doesn't usually make those third-player runs. She did that there. Just wasn't the perfect ball in the end, but that's good movement from the San Diego Wave early on. And I'm sure Casey Stoney, that's exactly what she's been looking for them to do.
Able to work off Corey Dyke, first-time starter out of Penn State. Picked up by McCaskill. Shaw. 4 runners in the box. Shaw denied. And racing forward, Strom. Been written in Sharpie in this Orlando back line the past 2 seasons. Shaw gonna try and catch up. Strom outwitted. Shaw sends early for Morgan. Deflection out to Jones. Jones angling, that's blocked. Second goal sent to the stands.
That was quite strange because Kylie Strom doesn't usually make mistakes in general, but in that type of area, Jaden Shaw does really well. Kylie Strom tries to see it out of bounds. Good ball into the box. It falls to Jones. The first shot has to be taken there for me. Too many touches. Good defensive work from the Orlando Pride, and quite erratic in the end, but they're getting into those areas, really good positions for the San Diego Wave team to be in such early on in this game.
Ball knocked long. Allie Watt brings it down and recovered by San Diego. Lundqvist, will she be able to go the distance tonight? Returned from Europe on Tuesday from the international break. Head swiveling from Gautreau. Skipped by Allie Watt. There's Dahlkemper. Sheridan. Caskill flicks on. Morgan trying to settle. Emily Sams steps forward. She's got a license to go, and she does here. Sams touches it wide. Service whipped in front toward Watt. Sams still forward. Sanchez defending. Wiggling free Doyle. Through ball angles into McNabb. still leaves work to be done, although this finally escapes the line.
I think as well, from speaking to Sem Hind, it's been pretty evident the last few games that the defenders have the license to get forward as long as someone's covering for them, and I think that's how it comes down to Hayley McCutcheon being pushed up into that midfield area when they did it against San Diego Wave a few weeks ago. We were kind of looking at the lineup thinking, is that really what they're going to do? And Hayley McCutcheon's done a really good job in there, and I think that's what allows Sams to be able to get forward, because she knows that players like McCutcheon will drop in for her and won't leave that space completely free.
Picked off, Morgan backstopping. McCaskill for Maya Jones, the rookie out of Memphis. Lundqvist. Shaw bounces off the challenge, pops out to McCutcheon.
So I think San Diego Wave needs to do a better job of keeping their width. We're already only 9 minutes into the game almost, and Marina Sanchez hasn't touched the ball. They've not got down the left-hand side at all. Some games are not set up for you to go down a certain way, but I think early on we're seeing, you know, they're receiving the ball. Jaden Shaw's having to drop deep with her back to goal. I think Jones has to keep a little bit more width, which will create the space underneath for players like Savannah McCaskill in that 10 role to get on the ball.
Seen Shaw on the ball a decent amount. One of the main focuses coming in tonight, get Maria Sanchez going by getting her feet on the ball more consistently. McNabb towards Sanchez, couldn't do much with that. Quick throw in. Dished off by Doyle. Down the line, Banda. Flag is down. Banda isolates with McNabb. The angle got too tight, ran it right over the line.
Yeah, I was waiting for them to let the action play out because Barbara Banda just went a little bit too soon there. Didn't really need to go that early.
Banda playing through just a hair off.
It's a good line from the San Diego Wave, though, to play that type of position. And we're seeing so early on that, you know, they're playing a high line, and that's what they have to do. They have to delay the ball into Barbara Banda. And you can see Alex Morgan, Jaden Shaw, Maria Sanchez are sitting quite high when they're defending because they have to delay the ball to Barbara Banda because she's so dangerous when they get the ball to her.
San Diego's volley now. Long for the straight run of Morgan. Jones pursues this, gets out, stays with the Wave. Maya Jones had a huge preseason at the Coachella tournament. Picked up an injury, 6th start for 18 in white tonight. Throw for Lundqvist. Morgan backing down. Polaprico. Lundqvist kept it moving admirably. Jones trying to get toward the end line against Abello. Abello fell down. Jones crossing. Header snapped back and dealt with by Morehouse. There's Sanchez. It's not her feet, it's her head. And a quick distribution from the English goalkeeper that Germa cuts out. We look back tonight and think of the burgeoning San Diego attack. Is this too far for Jones? It is.
I like the width that Jones was keeping there. I think I said about 2 minutes ago. You can see here, so tenacious, comes away, great strength to come away with the ball. Wasn't much pace on the ball, so Maria Sanchez couldn't really, you know, the trajectory of the ball couldn't really gain enough power to get it on. It was on frame, but it wasn't enough power in the end. But I like Jones getting on the ball a lot. Maria Sanchez coming in from the outside, getting an attempt on goal.
Morehouse foisting yet another attempt to a great starting goal for Orlando. As the numbers would dictate, 4 clean sheets on the year. Ball bounces down kindly, whipped in over the top. This is an Orlando team that scores a ton in the opening 30 minutes, but especially between minutes 16 and 30. That's where 8 of their 9 first half-hour goals have come from. And once they get a goal, I hear coaches say this a lot, great teams, a 1-0 lead always stands.
And a win's a win, Mike. I know everybody likes to see, you know, glitz and glamorous goals and those types of things, but 3 points is 3 points. How you win 1-0, sometimes, yeah, you want to see teams beat teams 3 or 4-0, but it doesn't really matter. All that matters is you win the game.
Orlando's successfully done both this year, to be fair.
They have, and I think they're that team that, you know, I know they have this philosophy that people don't really give them the respect they deserve, and they kind of have that chip on their shoulder, but I think that comes from somewhere with regards to they've only made one playoff in 7 years. You know, people didn't look at them as that team, and I understand that. It's not a lack of respect. It's just that, you know, you look at the lack of fans that were going to the stadium. People didn't go to Orlando and have that fear. Now, people fear the Orlando Pride, and that's due to the fact of a great job that Seb Hines is doing, but the roster that they're building, Haley Carter's building this fantastic roster.
Banda got fouled. Seb Hines said, I've been here since 2018 around the Pride. Maybe outside of Marta, it's the lack of individual accolade. Perhaps it's just the fact they, to your point, haven't won anything in a long, long time, that they get that self-described lack of respect. When you've won 8 in a row, everybody respects you. Suddenly, you're the hunted. Corey Dyke will put this in play. And Banda, 4-headed goals this year. More than a number of teams in the NWSL have scored combined. Bounces all the way through to Shaw. McCutcheon. As always, it's with San Diego here.
It's funny because Jaden Shaw's having to drop quite deep to get on the ball. And I think, you know, Alex Morgan needs to do a better job of freeing up that space. She's occupying those 2 centre-backs, but those movements out wide, I think that's when Alex Morgan is at her best, when she makes those moves out wide to be able to get on the ball. Once she gets running, she's hard to stop. But I think staying central is happy days for Kylie Strom and Sams. They'll be happy that she's in front of them.
Strom. Harams for a throw. Kept in by Lundqvist. Ali Watt pressuring Sheridan. Sheridan, trademark smirk. Auntie K. Maria and Jill Lloyden's kids in the stands today. Kaylin's sister and sister-in-law. And the kids wearing the Auntie K jersey. Adorable.
So adorable. And I was just talking to Kate, we were talking to Casey Stoney's wife just before, Megan, and she was saying how all of the kids want to be goalkeepers. And I said, how's Casey going to allow that? She was like, I don't know, but Kaden Sheridan is converting all the kids into being goalkeepers because she's such an amazing person and a great goalkeeper.
Like the auntie to every kid on the team, and the staff for that matter, and now Sheridan's starting to send goalkeeping gloves around, and now we've got a problem.
Yeah, Megan said that, and so did Casey, that Caitlin's sending goalkeeper gloves to the kids to try and sway them. She's such an amazing person, and I think kids and people just magnetize towards her.
How could you not? Twice best 11 in the NWSL. Ball picked off by Abello. Appeal for a handball. The crowd won't win that fight. Watt nearly got decapitated. Play on here for Orlando into the area. It's Doyle! Off the outside of the netting, and the first real counterpunch from Orlando toward goal.
You can see what Judy Doyle was trying to do there, but I think she has to go across goal. Really good play out wide. She's very good, Judy Doyle, going 1v1. You can see she gets the run on McNabb there, but has to go across goal, but good positioning to get into. That's exactly what you want to be doing, getting the back line, defender on the back foot, but the ball has to go across goal for me.
Orlando just entering that zone in which they score 40% of their goals this quarter hour between minute 15 and minute 30. Strom for Sams. Watt, who draws the start with Marta out, tugged down by Gurma, and Gurma's going to pick up a very early yellow card for it. And against a player of Banda's ability in the middle, that takes away an important tool in her belt tonight.
Ali Watt does very well here. You can see, gets this nice little touch around the corner, yellow card all day long. And not many players get Naomi Gurma in that situation. Usually, you know, she's first to the ball, but that's really good play from Ali Watt. I think a player that's really stepped up. It's not easy for the other players. When another player like Barbara Banda comes in, Ali Watt was that player that it was inevitable she would then get benched. And I think, you know, she's done a really good job. But when you bring in players like Barbara Banda and you've got Marta, they're always going to get that seniority, and probably rightfully so.
Watt's 7th start of the season tonight. Free kick for Orlando. San Diego dominant on offensive set pieces in the month of May. Now they're defending. Good give and go down the line. Ball hung across. Shaw chasing after it. Chance for a reserve. Slip by Banda, able to recover, curling off target. Most players forget a half chance. That's a very infinitely small decimal chance, alas.
It is, and it comes from this set piece. I'm not really a big fan of short set pieces, but they work this really well. And San Diego Wave were on the back foot, didn't send 2 players out there. You have to send 2. You know, they got caught off guard a little bit, and Maria Sanchez was kind of like that player that had to go. But this is how ruthless Barbara Banda, as soon as she gets a window of opportunity, she shoots on sight. Dani Colaprico tries to get close to her. Caitlin Sheridan, to be fair to her, had it covered. But that's exactly why Barbara Banda is so dangerous, because she gets into those positions that not many players can get it on target in that moment.
Sheridan left that a bit short. Watt concerned she would have been offside. Dahlkemper leads the charge. Looking for options.
See, Dani Colaprico has to go forward there for me. She picks up the ball, gets into a good spot. They have to be, Lundqvist has to communicate, turn. Because in that moment, yes, they still have possession, but she has to go forward. She goes all the way back to Caitlin Sheridan. Yes, they still have the ball, but that's a moment where your defensive midfielder has to go forward and get on the ball and try to find Jones, Jaden Shaw, and Alex Morgan.
Rico, the 31-year-old from New Jersey, longtime central midfield stalwart for the Chicago Red Stars, who's found a really good situation for her in San Diego. Lundqvist. Shaw trying to tip it through. And spinning off. That's a free kick. Won by Dahlkemper.
I think the back line have done a really good job on Barbara Banda so far. I think they're also doing really well in possession, because there's not many options for them in front. And Abby Dahlkemper has done a couple of times where she's got into a foot race. Barbara Banda gone back to Caitlin Sheridan, and they've kept the possession of the ball. You can see they're really switched on, the San Diego Wave backline. They know they have to be going up against probably the most informed player in the league right now.
A couple of really clever initial balls. It falls to McCaskill, slips for Jones. It's just out of her reach. Jones against DeBello. Corner, San Diego. 60% of the goals, including the Challenge Cup through 11 games for the Wave, have come off set pieces this year.
It's not a coincidence either, Mike. This is something they're working on the training ground. We saw first and foremost yesterday when we went to watch them train. Every set piece went in the back of the net.
What can Sanchez produce? Sanchez whisked in, kept away. It's still on here for the Wave. Sanchez stepping up. McNabb playing in. Sanchez stayed on side, but it bangs off at Doyle. That's a throw, not a corner, by sheer force of will. Minutes gone, 9th place San Diego, if you can believe it, against first place Orlando, if you can believe it. Precisely in the opposite position of one another where they finished last year. Dyke will slip it ahead and seeks the return. And held off. That's one of the moves we heard when we spoke to Abby Dahlkemper. Where's the coverage come? Because even if you've got a 5-step lead on Banda, it doesn't mean you're going to win the race.
Yeah, Abby Dahlkemper did really well there in that moment. I think Barbara Banda wanted a foul. You could see Morgan Gautreau, the first moment she could, she was trying to turn the back line to put Barbara Banda in. Sometimes I understand why you try to force it to a player like Barbara Banda, but you sometimes need to, you know, combine a few more passes.
Morgan goes down. Number of fans brought their own yellow cards tonight. Have a suggestion for the referee, Will Ben Salah.
That is brilliant, and they're signaling into us as well with these yellow cards. It's making me laugh, Mike. That one caught me off guard a little bit.
Morgan's up, the card is still down.
I think that is a yellow card. It's late. Strom goes into the back of Alex Morgan. But these are the runs, though, Mike, that I was talking about. With the front line of the San Diego Wave, they always check towards the ball, which is not going to cause a problem for the Orlando Pride team. You want them going that way. You want Alex Morgan and Jaden Shaw, Maria Sanchez and Jones to be going towards their own goal, the opposite direction. Their runs need to be a bit more dynamic, you know, to pull out the back line, to pull out the defenders.
Ball dropped in over the top. Morgan has support behind from Jones, able to knock that off a Pride player, and that is, well, it was initially deemed a corner, now correctly, I believe, a goal kick.
I think we saw from the last action when Maria Sanchez took the corner from the right-hand side, she stayed over here for, 2 or 3 minutes, and I think that could be something that Casey Stoney could do, switch them sides, because Maria Sanchez needs to get on the ball. It's not her fault, she's barely touched the ball, and they're not really building up towards the left-hand side at all. And for a player of Maria Sanchez's quality, you can't be 25 minutes into the game almost and just not, minimal touches on the ball. They're not going down the left at all.
Big ticket acquisition at a point over the offseason, had the richest contract in the National Women's Soccer League. Signed it with Houston, but notably as a restricted free agent. Just a couple weeks into the year, publicly requested a trade. The man that was eventually met when San Diego took on her deal and made the Mexican star a member of San Diego for years to come. Lundqvist, McCaskill was waiting on it. And McCaskill, with an outstretched leg, commits a foul. The draw knocked down.
It's interesting because when Savannah McCaskill picked up that ball, Maria Sanchez had so much space out on the left-hand side, but it wasn't even a thought of Savannah McCaskill to try and find her. And I think for someone like Maria Sanchez, she has to find a way into the game, because a player of her quality, it'd be frustrating for her to not really have got the ball rolling yet, and they need her to start to deliver, but they also have to find her the ball.
Watt slides down the line, entering the penalty area. The cutback, that's brilliant. Shot toward frame that Sheridan happily siphons off. And Julie Doyle showing a monumental ability to create as usual.
That was really good play from Ali Watt. You can see the difference when the Orlando Pride front line, when they check out, they come away with the ball. They take a first touch. Naomi Gurma brought down Ali Watt moments ago when she picked up that yellow card. But it's the movement from this Orlando front line that is so good. They're not rigid, they're interchangeable. And then Ali Watt there creates that chance for Julie Doyle. I think has to put it in the box a little bit earlier. If you're going to go yourself, just go a little bit quicker. But I think those are the types of moments where Seb Hines would want his players and his front line to be in.
Shaw. How deep is that? Nearly amongst the back line.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about, Mike. I was the type of player that always wanted to be on the ball. Sometimes coaches didn't like that. You drop deeper and deeper. We can see Jaden Shaw here now, dropping in almost into that defensive midfield spot. That is not where you want Jaden Shaw. I like the fact she's trying to get on the ball, and that's probably due to frustration in those moments, because that's the job of Danny Colabrico, to find the ball in there, to then be able to find the space for Jaden Shaw.
Forced away from Banda by Jones. This is a pride team, along with Kansas City, trying to usurp Seattle in the Kim Little MVP season of 2014. Shield winning team, the longest unbeaten run in NWSL history. Already accomplished the most consecutive regular season wins, another throw for the Pride. Kansas City playing later in the weekend, 13 games now, Orlando on 12. Ball lofted across, and that gets out of play.
We know how crazy this league can be, though, Mike, with regards to players and teams beating anyone. And Casey Stoney said they're in the same position last year, and then they ended up winning the Shield. And Seb Hines is not getting carried away with where they're at. You know, he was like yesterday to us, we've won nothing yet.
Casey Stoney looks on as McCaskill claims in midfield. Jones has a world of space down this right side. Lundqvist takes it and now plays into the feet of Jones. Taxabello, ball bounces kindly. Jones creating space. McCaskill took it out of the air, has to settle. And to Shaw, in front of Morgan! Morehouse deflects toward the line and sent out for a throw.
Really good play from San Diego Wave. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Jones does really well. Tenacious comes in off the end line. And then Savannah McCaskill finds Janet Shaw. This is a really nice ball. And I think Alex Morgan takes this really well. Takes it early, but Anna Morehouse, really good save in the end.
Fist inside Shaw. Navigates back out wide. McCaskill slips it ahead to Jones in the corner, offside. She was riding that line, wasn't she?
I was just about to say that must have been really, really tight. But those are the types of moments where you can see how deadly this San Diego Wave team can be in that 18-yard box. And I like that type of action. I like Jones. She's been getting into the game a lot, getting a lot on the ball, always wants the ball. She's coming inside, she's staying out wide. And I think Savannah McCaskill is finding her really, really well.
Canadian Youth International out of Memphis. First ever draftee for the Tigers, which, if you know college soccer, as far as American Conference, sort of that mid-major powerhouse, constantly in the top 25. Jones, a big reason why in recent years. San Diego has evaded that dastardly first 30 minutes where Orlando typically garners about half of its goals this season. They've done so on the 0-0, 0-0 scoreline. Nothing back on April 19th. It was the most expected goals ever allowed in a game. All competitions by San Diego, nearly 3.5. Just the singular goal from Summer Yates separated the teams. Off the turn, Shaw. Trying to complete the diagonal. Able to find Maria Sanchez. Cutchin. Banda for Watt. Watt went down. Referee instantly throws his arms aside. Nothing in it. And that stayed in on the line. Ball crossed back. Deflects toward Banda. Sanchez. Out for a corner.
You can see here how dangerous Barbara Banda can be coming off that sideline. Nice ball in. It's not a penalty for me. It would have been a soft one. And how this looked out of bounds also, completely. You can see what Casey Stoney thought, because it definitely looked like it was out of play.
This surface plays like a carpet tonight. Watered it pregame. Ball's been slick. They had a VAR check as always, nothing to it. Corner whipped in, header toward goal that Sheridan yanks in.
Good ball in, there just wasn't much pace on the ball, which didn't allow Kylie Strong to really generate a lot of power. It was always going to be comfortable for Kaylin Sheridan.
Kylie Strom rising to the occasion, but Sheridan up to the task. Lundqvist Player fell down. It opens Morgan up. Morgan at Morehouse. More scoreless soccer.
That was quite strange because Kylie Strom looked like she went down, which then allowed Alex Morgan to just kind of get a free run on the ball. That window of opportunity was there. It was always going to be difficult. There was 5 players around her in that moment. Gets a shot off. But we've seen that happen a lot for the San Diego Wave this season. You know, they get a lot of shots off, they get a lot of opportunities, but don't really work the keeper in those actions.
It earlier, 15.5 yards average distance of shot. That's the shortest in the league. And relative conversion rate, right? The percentage of your shots that actually go in, it's like 30% lower than last year with nearly the same shot on target percentage. Just to say, unlucky, just hasn't gone. Here's Banda against Germa, pumps the brakes, lays that off, deflected back, and hammered toward goal off target. Pass Sheridan, who does not need to make save number 501. Kaylin Sheridan joins the 500 save club on the Kylie Strom header on the previous set piece about 3 minutes ago. 3rd player in NWSL history to hit the plateau.
It's amazing, and this is why I love America, because I feel like in England we don't have stats like that we share to kind of elevate people. And Kaylin Sheridan is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, so good with her ball at the feet. Top player, top person.
I think people forget, when she got to Gotham, first off, a lot going on. It was still sky blue, but 21 years old. I mean, tasked from the beginning of trying to turn that thing around. Shaw playing into Jones. All the flex. Jones will watch this out for a throw. Lundqvist. Shaw. Or McCaskill. That stayed in. Felt like a bit of payback. Into Lundqvist. That surely a corner, clipped by a bellow over the line.
Good play from Lundqvist down the right-hand side. They're being really interchangeable, the San Diego Wave team, and I think, you know, you can see they're getting the Orlando pride on the back foot. That's exactly what Casey Stoney would want. We know how deadly they can be in front of goal and set pieces.
Orlando hasn't trailed in 77 days. About 850 game minutes. And San Diego breakthrough on the corner. Ball deflects through to the backside. Colaprico's waiting on it. Watt able to clear.
That's a poor ball from Maria Sanchez. That wasn't a worked corner. That was just a really poor ball.
Trouble's brewing here on the counter. Banda against Germa, who's on a yellow. Banda crossing. Ball is in. Oh, what a goal! That is incredible from Doyle! How in the world did she manage to score that?
What a goal that is from Julie Doyle. Fantastic. We know how crucial they can be when they're going towards goal. Really good play. This comes from the Maria Sanchez corner, though, for me, Mike. It was a really poor ball into the box. Barbara Banda does everything here. That's exactly what she would have wanted. 1v1, Naomi Goma, we know how good she is, but some players, you just can't stop her. Barbara Banda's one of them, and that is such a great finish from Julie Doyle. Barbara Banda picks her out really well. Her body was going one way. Kaylin Sheridan has no chance in that moment. And they caught them on the counter because of the poor ball into the box. And in Orlando, Ali Watt does really well to come away with the ball. Then Barbara Banda does what she does best, drags the players out. And again, when you're going up against a player like Barbara Banda, there's not really much you can do. You can show her right, she'll go left. And that's a great finish from Julie Doyle.
Second of the season. That is jaw-dropping stuff from Doyle. All goals reviewed. Robbie Holner is the VAR. In this instance, you'd think they're looking for a potential offside.
I think for players like Julie Doyle, though, like, they kind of go under the radar, and it's exactly what Seb Hines is creating in these moments. You know, the Summer Yates, those types of players, Ali Watt, that will do the job, whatever's needed for the team. And I think Julie Doyle just exemplifies that.
So much for work comes in wide areas, and yet late last year, a lot of the conversation was, can you stay in the width of the goal because you've got that nose for it. So a corner for San Diego ends up 100 yards the other way and in the back of the net. And it's 1-0 to Orlando as they try and stretch this 8-game win streak and extend their NWSL record.
I mean, it's a poor ball into the box from Maria Sanchez, but there's still a long way to go to goal, Mike. So it's down to the players to also delay in those moments. I would say, relatively speaking, the San Diego Wave have actually played quite well. They've looked switched on, the back line have looked good.
They felt that in the 0-0 draw against Angel City right before the break, too, as well, right?
They did, but I just think it's that final third. You look at the difference with this Orlando Pride team, and there's a reason why they're top of the table. Not just because they're putting the ball in the back of the net, but it's their centre forwards. It's the movement. They're moving around. They're constantly active. They're not just checking towards their own goal and, you know, drawing a foul. They're making runs that can really impact the game. And I think that's a difference between the front line of the Orlando Pride and the front line of the San Diego Wave team. And it seems like whichever players are playing for the Wave, they just don't seem to get the ball. Jakobsen could be in there, doesn't really offer much to the game. You've got Alex Morgan in there, not really touching the ball. It's a difficult moment for the San Diego Wave, but they need to find their way out of it.
Sheridan, Colaprico, Gurma. Gorgeous night in San Diego, California. Until the meeting in April, the first 4 meetings, the home team had not won. Why? What a win of the ball that is. Watt sees Dyke moving down the left side.
I think that was a really good decision from the referee. I think Ali Watt does really well there to come away with the ball.
Bello. Banda slips it through the legs of Lundqvist. Banda playing central. That got knocked down. McCaskill, slide tackle in. Belongs to the Wave.
Such a great turn from Barbara Banda. Lundqvist gets so close. Nice little nutmeg. And in that moment, I actually think she could be a little bit more selfish and go towards goal. I think she tried to play the ball too early.
Orlando has now scored in 16 consecutive games. Marks a record for the club. Jones. Karem's eye, McCaskill. That deflected away by Sams. Sanchez. Look at this blockade, 2 blocks of 4. Hardly enticing for the Wave. Jones, Lundqvist. Serving to the backside, Morehouse leaps up, bothered. And drops to the ground after the contact from McCaskill. Suggesting she has proof. We're suggesting she needs to retie the boots.
I think this is always going to be comfortable for Anna Morehouse in that moment. Lundqvist puts it straight in there. Not really much in that for me. I think Savannah McCaskill has every right to go for the ball.
loop and pull. Stay tuned for the halftime show presented by AT&T. We'll recap first half action, check in on the Louisville-Houston game, and talk Barbara Banda's arrival to the league. Goal came in the 36th minute from Julie Doyle, her second of the season. Looking forward to your telestration on the breakdown of Banda. We've got some fun halftime content to be had as always.
We have, and I think we can almost have a whole game, Mike, just on Barbara Banda and the impact she's had this season in this short space of time.
And is it fair to say, I think a lot of people can go, enough already, we get it, 8 goals in 7 games. 8 goals in 7 games doesn't just happen. I mean, her arrival into the league and success, arriving mid-season even, borderline unprecedented.
It is, and to get up to the speed of play, usually it takes players quite a while, because the NWSL is really unforgiving how quick it is. I think people don't realise that when you're watching it from home, how quick it is within this league. You don't have a moment to breathe, the defenders are on you, and I think Barbara Banda just looks like she's not even anywhere near her best yet, which is quite scary.
Seb Hines used that exact terminology to describe it yesterday. There's still more goals to be scored. Whisked away from Morgan. Doyle.
It's interesting because Jones is the player that's wide open every single time down this right-hand side, and then just not finding her. When the one time Savannah McCaskill did, and they got in on goal.
AC Stoney reaction.gif. Diego manager disagrees with the call on the field. Garma. Put her head to it. Still Banda, work to be done. Banda sliding centrally. Chopped down by Colaprico. McNabb. Stoppage time presented by Volkswagen. 4 added minutes. It was the elongated break after the goal. Potential VAR check, but Ali Watt was also being attended to by the athletic trainer for a brief stint. Also the Anna Morehouse shoe tying escapade.
That was
now offside hijinks.
And this is exactly when Barbara Banda is at her best, as crazy as it sounds, when she is going to get this ball. No doubt, Naomi Gurma was already thinking this ball, you know, I can get to it first, but Barbara Banda will always come away with this ball. And this is what makes her so good as well. Like, it's not just her goal scoring, it's the way she hunts down players, doesn't give them an opportunity to breathe. I was just going to say, Mike, with the Anna Morehouse situation where she took off the gloves, it was a really good, really clever time-wasting tactic, because most goalkeepers have the outfield player tie their shoelace, but she threw off the gloves, no one could say anything.
Right. First I'm thinking, okay, she banged up her hand, and then starts tying her shoes. I'm like, I see what's happening.
Same as when, you know, the trainer comes onto the field of play. A lot of people use the goalkeeper as a tactic, go down, because if the trainer comes on, you can't take the goalkeeper off.
Right.
Dark arts. My version of dark arts, not Seb Hines' version.
Yeah, that's about positioning and such. Footwork. Banda pressing Abby Dahlkemper. Dark arts were discussed. Emily Madrill, now Emily Sams, was initially drafted. Hines had an extraordinary career that finished in Orlando as a player, but primarily in England. Before becoming an assistant to the Pride, eventually Pride head coach. Lundqvist, perhaps to her benefit, lost the handle. Now Jones. Jones races in on Abello, leans back, Colaprico! Colaprico! Over the bar by Morehouse. Colaprico does have that club in her bag. corner.
Really good effort from Dani Colaprico, because I thought the ball from Jones was a great way to pass where she could have hit it first time. And when she took her touch, I thought the window of opportunity had left. You can see here, this is a really good ball. And I'm thinking, hit it now, but she does really well. I don't think Gautrat gets out quick enough, but it was a good effort in the end from Colaprico and a good save from Morehouse.
Off the training ground. McNabb didn't clear the defenders. All deflects down kindly. Lundqvist. Dahlkemper trying to deal with Banda and did. Colaprico. Naomi Girma. Still have another minute or so in this first half. Look down the line. Lundqvist still on the opposite end following the corner. Overplayed her hand. Morgan trying to wrestle free. Flicked in by Sanchez. Morgan something out of nothing. Slipping into Sanchez. Seeking Jones. That's going to hang up. We've gone the 4 minutes. San Diego will see out the attack. McNabb inside. Shaw. That deflects. Get out over the line. They're going to take a corner before halftime as well.
Good defending from Julie Doyle. Alex Morgan did really well in the initial play to come away with the ball. You can see they're working it really well here. Shaw, nice little 1 yard, and Julie Doyle covers really well.
Is there an equalizer before halftime for the Wave? Sanchez asking some questions, punched away by Morehouse. They're going to blow the halftime whistle as we've gone 40 seconds over the allotted time. 1-0 at the half in favor of Orlando on the Doyle goal. First half stats show a San Diego team dominating the possession, but ultimately about the same number of chances.
Yeah, I think they've played relatively well, the San Diego Wave team, but again, it comes down to everything this season. They cannot put the ball in the back of the net right. They're creating good opportunities. They're getting in there with Jones, Alex Morgan, Jaden Shaw's dropping deeper and deeper as the game went on, because that's the frustration of not having the ball. Maria Sanchez just put her best ball into the box from the set piece. They've had a few corners down this right-hand side, but I think it's been a story of their season so far.
Time now for a pitch perspective. It's presented by Volkswagen. And the Orlando head coach, Seb Hines, joins us from the field here at the half. A wonderful goal, a stunning goal from Julie Doyle. Seb, what does this team need to do to ensure that it holds this lead through in the second half, sees out a 9th straight win?
I think just more belief in our ability to play. I think, we can get a little bit caught off with the environment and just control the game a little bit more in possession. I think we can find the two forwards a little bit earlier, be more decisive with our decisions and create more opportunities to score.
Seb, thank you for the time.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Orlando did find a goal. In the interim, Kaylin Sheridan's 500th NWSL save. Morgan held at bay, but it was Banda to Doyle in the 36th minute. Pride ahead on Prime.
Ready for the road trip. Everyone comfortable?
Yep, there's plenty of space. I've even got an extra seat.
Wait, no.
Extra seat,
Let's just let them out.
The Volkswagen Atlas, with 3 rows and seating for 7, everyone wants a ride.
Okay, get in.
And see Despicable Me 4 in theaters July 3rd, rated PG.
It's NYX Professional Makeup, baby. #1 lip gloss brand in America. It's NYX or nothing.
Shave it, Dove it. New Dove Advanced Care. Replenishes skin after every shave. From Spray 1. For the ultimate post-shaving care, Try new Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant.
These are all keepers. Store more, share more. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us and get a great deal on iPad and Apple Watch SE. Connect with AT&T.
This game doesn't make us who we are. We bring who we are to it. Our style, our passion, our quirks, our light. And when we bring who we are, it invites you to as well. And any invitation to be yourself, well, that's what it's all about. Pride plays here.
Welcome to the halftime show presented by AT&T. Waves crashing in San Diego, 1-0 at the break in favor of the Pride. Welcome back into the booth, everybody. High above Snapdragon Stadium, Leanne Sanderson, Mike Watts. We came into this game hyping up a lot of things about the Pride, none more so than Barbara Banda. Assisted the opening goal. Everything we've seen so far is carried over.
It's what she does, Mike, and I think ultimately as a centre forward, you're always going to be judged upon your goal scoring. But Barbara Banda, she's so tenacious. I think she's probably the most unstoppable player in the world right now, as crazy as that sounds. You can see here, you know, she's so unselfish in these moments, doesn't quite come out and get it out of her feet quick enough in that moment, but she's always causing problems for Abby Dolkamper and this back line. And you can see here, gets that window of opportunity, tries to find that far corner. Kenny Sheridan always had it covered, but this is when she's at her most dangerous, when she's running at you. You know, she wants a free kick in that moment. She's not going to get it, but this is those moments here. You know, Naomi Girma, one of the best defenders in the world, cannot stop Barbara Banda. She's that good, Mike. And then this finish from Julie Dord's fantastic, and she's so unselfish, Barbara Banda. I feel like in some moments she can actually take it herself, and that's a great finish from Julie Doyle.
Those are your first half highlights presented by AT&T. Take a look at the first half stats. It shows the San Diego team that, again, has a lot of the ball, and they've created enough on this night.
They have, and I think it's the story of their season so far, Mike. I think, you know, they've sometimes outplayed teams, but they just cannot put the ball in the back of the net. And I think individually, they have so much firepower, so much quality. But it's been a story of their season. That's exactly why they're in 9th position.
All right, meanwhile, there was other action earlier tonight in the NWSL. Racing Louisville hosting a very short-handed Houston Dash. Racing Louisville 1-0. Savannah DeMello, 5th of the season off the deflection from Jane Campbell. A tremendous turn of form for DeMello, who hadn't scored in about 9 months, predating the World Cup, until we saw a free kick stunner here on Prime last month. Then in the 85th minute, Racing makes it 2-0. Parker Goins, the header in the 6th. The feed from DeMello. Louisville 2-0, a great win for them. But tonight, here in San Diego, Casey Stoney's a wee bit frustrated. Stay tuned for more of the halftime show, presented by AT&T.
Some of the most brilliant minds in business. No, not you. Or you. You auto-track business income and expenses with QuickBooks. And you pay all your employees easily and accurately. And you have a business bank account with market-leading APY. Get the full picture of your business on one platform, now with expert help when you need it. That's how you business differently.
Put a fresh spin on pizza night with the Vera Pizza Oven. Easily rotate the pizza stone with the turn of a handle. To help ensure an evenly cooked pie? In as little as 60 seconds or less. That's crunchy, melty, wood-fired perfection. The possibilities are delicious. Now that's amore. That's authentic. That's Vera. Black & Decker. Easy by design.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because there are people out there who aren't you. A lot of them. And you don't drive like, whoa.
I don't want my child being raised by a robot.
Other drivers are not you.
Yes, thank you so much to all 50 of my subscribers.
Nope, definitely not you. Save with DriveWise and get a rate based on you. you're in good hands with Allstate.
I don't meet people like you very often. I think you're smart, and you're also just hot, or whatever. Hot? Or whatever.
I'm too old for you. What about what people will say?
I don't care what they say.
The W is hooping it up on Prime. Next Thursday night, catch the Las Vegas Aces taking on the Phoenix Mercury. Our coverage starts next Thursday, June 13th at 10 p.m. Eastern. It is 1-0 Orlando over San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium in Southern California. Halftime is presented by AT&T. Welcome back into the booth, everybody. Mike Watts on hand. There is something to be said on April the 19th. Were we seeing the new face of the Orlando Pride? Barbara Banda's debut against this very Wave team came with a lot of hype, and she's backed it up. 7 games, 7 wins, 8 goals. Leads the Golden Boot race and other assists tonight. The Zambian also has a lot going on leading up to the Olympics as well. We chatted with her this week about her transition to the NWSL.
Banda swerves, shoots, tallies! A star is born in Orlando.
When you're playing football, when you're doing what you love doing, you have to do it with passion. So I play with all my strength, all my energy, so that at the end of the day, we are able to celebrate.
We got a player who has an eye for a goal, and she has a hunger to score.
Banda, what a strike!
She's fast, she's strong, and then we just need to find the pass.
Barbara Banda, still another chance. Banda scores again!
Scoring is part of the game, and once you score, you need that expression of joy. So it's something that brings people together. Most of the time I score with my header, so it's amazing.
Banda scores! Who can stop her at the moment?
What has made me adjust more quickly is the interactions of the players. We're always having fun together, so I always have joy when I'm playing because football has been in my life, so I'm always doing what I love doing with passion.
And we had a front row seat to it tonight here on Prime, watching Barbara Banda. You know, Leanne, she's so quiet when you talk to her in person and yet so deadly on the field. It's been as impressive as any NWSL debutante we've ever seen.
Yes, definitely, and I think you can see she comes alive when she's on the football pitch. I asked her yesterday who her favourite players were, and she said Neymar and Cristiano Ronaldo. I was thinking actually she was going to say Didier Drogba, because the way she plays reminds me of him a lot. You know, always occupying the space, and we can see here, you know, during these highlights, Becky Sauerbrunn gets balled out of position, but this is the moments where Barbara Banda could be so deadly. One ball can beat a whole back line. Yeah, granted, this Portland Thorns teams are out of position, but you can see here, she scores goals I don't think other people would. See Hubley there trying to cover around, and it's the tenacity of Barbara Banda which allows her to score so many goals that we see this season. We know, you know, she's only just got here, Mike, and she's able to score these types of goals, headed goals. We know how good she could be in the air, but she's equally just as good with her feet as she is in the air, and these are the types of runs that I love. When she gets running at you, I think the defenders must be having nightmares the night before, because there's some people you cannot defend. She's unstoppable, and that's a fantastic ball for Ali Watt to put it in the back of the net.
Haley Carter, the GM for the Pride, when she initially signed, said there's no player in the world like her. And so far, we're seeing a little bit of that. But there's also the case in Zambia right now, and the importance and the weight that she carries going into this year's Olympics.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, you know, we talk about football and it's a universal language, but we don't realize the impact that players like, you know, Barbara Banda have by coming over here. You know, you can see everywhere she goes, the fans, the Zambian fans come out for her. From the moment she made her debut against the San Diego Wave, you can see, look how happy they are to meet her. And I think, you know, ultimately in Zambia, they don't support the players enough. The facilities are not there, which has meant we have the luxury of having them in our league, and I'm delighted.
Yeah, Barbara Banda, an incredible start to this campaign and still a long way to go. And of course, July 25th, Banda against Girma in the United States at the Olympics. Halftime here in San Diego. Banda's feeling it. Pride her up.
Shave it, dove it, New Dove Advanced Care. Replenishes skin after every shave. From Spray One. For the ultimate post-shaving care, try New Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant.
Get your blur on. New Blur Screen Primer. Protects with SPF 30. Grips makeup for up to 18-hour wear. Blur skin with no white cast. Infused with coconut water and cactus flower extract.
The NWSL, Friday nights.
Pull up. Got a job to do with your time zone.
Let's go!
A touch of class. Alex Morgan, she scores.
Absolutely outstanding!
Kansas City Current versus Chicago Red Stars. Next Friday at 8 Eastern, only on Prime.
These are all keepers. Store more, share more. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us and get a great deal on iPad and Apple Watch SE. Connect with AT&T.
Second half approaches, subs both ways. Marta and Doniak set to join the occasion. Marta, the Brazilian, her 100th appearance in the National Women's Soccer League, all with Orlando. And perhaps the best to ever play. Will play again here in San Diego, and for the 100th time for the Pride, don the jersey. Underway in the second half of play, 1-0 to the Pride at halftime.
Well, how's that for a sub to be able to make at halftime the strength and depth this Orlando Pride team has is incredible.
Sanchez playing early. Falls to McCaskill. Shaw. Lundqvist. Where Sanchez headed down. Shaw. Shaw once more. Navigating into the width. Sanchez. Drilled in by McNabb. Return to sender. Well, you and I thought Doniak would find her way into this game, and that might be a pretty notable sub here for Casey Stoney, who said she's got goals in her, and we as a team know that.
Yeah, I love Mackenzie Doniak. I think she's a fantastic role player. She always will play anywhere for this team. I'm not quite sure if Jones was the substitution I would have made. In all honesty, I probably would have pulled Maria Sanchez in that moment. Based upon the fact of lack of impact in the game, I thought Jones was probably the brightest forward in the front line. And I think she should feel quite hard done by to be pulled at half-time, because Maria Sanchez has no impact on the left-hand side. Anything that the San Diego Wave were doing was down the right-hand side, and Jones was always part of it.
Ball stripped to Morgan. Galloping ahead. Cast aside by Sanchez, slides trying to keep it in. Conversely for Orlando, it's a sub we anticipated. The reality is a 10-hour flight from Salvador, Brazil, all the way to San Diego with Tucker, most players out. But when we spoke with the staff, GM, head coach, are you gonna try and tell Marta you're managing her minutes? I don't think so. And so here's Marta, who arrived in San Diego from international duty after 3 goals in 2 games for the Brazilians, stepping in for Banda at halftime and making that 100th appearance in the league.
I mean, talk about fine wine. Marta is having one of her best seasons I think I've ever seen her have in the NWSL. And I think it just shows you her commitment at her age to still want to be here. That's not to say the players that are not here, they don't want to be here, because I'm sure they do. But it's Marta, you know, one of the best, for me, the best player to ever play the beautiful game.
We're training yesterday. She's scoring goals and flying like an airplane toward the corner. Such a vivacious personality. Here's Doyle, who scored the go-ahead in the 36th minute. Marta spins and pings this outside. Abello against Doniak. Capello pumps the brakes. Aram finds Corey Dyke. Capello winds it up again. All angled across. Shaw. Girma, the lone player booked in the first half for either team on a yellow.
I'm sure now Naomi Girma, Navi Dahlkemper can take a bit of a deep breath now that Barbara Banda's gone off.
And now it's Allie Watt, right? Isolated in that number 9 role, central striker role.
Who will still cause problems, but not the same problems as Barbara Banda.
Noted that Zambia did not play during the international window. So Banda coming off at halftime. Despite the fact she wasn't one of the players, it's about half the San Diego roster, for instance, that comes off international duty. And with Rafaeli, Adriana, we're told, back in Orlando on rest after their international games with Brazil, Marta just couldn't be denied.
It leads me to believe, potentially, that Barbara Banda must have picked up a knock or something precautionary, because I don't think they would have necessarily made that substitution at this point at halftime.
Foul from Alex Morgan. Puck strong. No goals tonight, but the assist. 8 goals, 3 assists in 8 games in the National Women's Soccer League. Banda, by her lonesome at the moment, can only look on. Rom did well to hold that up long enough. This pass is wayward. Morgan Gautreau.
Really good play from Kylie Strom, bringing the ball out of the back line there. Plays into Morgan Gautreau. Not the best execution in the end, but that's exactly where you want the defensive midfielders to be picking up the ball in those moments.
Prico.
The San Diego away team will always be judged upon goals because of the firepower they have. But I think they're not really getting any service into the front line areas. We saw it. We've seen it all season so far. You know, Savannah McCaskill in that 10 role, Maria Sanchez, and I just don't feel like they're providing a service to Alex Morgan. I'm not making excuses for Alex Morgan, but I just don't see any balls being provided into her. Jaden Shaw's having to drop a little bit deeper. And these types of players are some of the best in the world. Jaden Shaw is one of the best young players. Alex Morgan is such a top player, but they're not really finding her the ball.
Between injuries and form, is anyone really at the top of their game at this exact moment for San Diego on the attacking end?
I don't think so, and I feel for Casey Stoney because she's putting players in there, you know, she's bringing them out. I think Carusa is actually a player that I spoke to Casey about yesterday, and Casey speaks really highly of her, and I think she looks sharp when she's on. Ironically, it looks like she's about to come on, so the telepathy between me and Casey must be there. So, you know, and I think she offers something different. Is she that type of player that will start and, you know, win you a game from the beginning? Maybe not, but I like what she has to offer, and I think she's tenacious. She gets in front of goals, she creates opportunities for other people. But it's difficult because it just doesn't look like any of the front line look like they're in full.
Lundqvist ahead. Doniak. Able to regain. Doniak got the cross through. Morgan reverses. Shaw. Now McNabb. Still it's Cole Prico. Ball lofted toward McCaskill.
Ironically, McNabb actually has that in her locker because I said to her yesterday, Last year, he scored an absolute banger against the Washington Spirit. It was one of the best goals I saw last season. He's picked up the ball there in a similar situation.
It's Caruso receiving instruction from Louis Hunt. Set to enter in a moment's time. I'm just glad the iPad works. We were down on the field pregame, the sprinklers went on, and it was like, everyone get out of the way.
They didn't even warn us to get out of the way. That was what was quite funny.
Yeah.
I was just worried about my makeup, Mike.
Mine didn't run. Here's Alex Morgan on the run. Morgan turns the corner, angles it across. A defensive action right in front of goal, able to loft this over the bar.
This is when Alex Morgan is at her best. This type of run, this bendy run, can isolate the back line, gets into these moments, tried to pick out a player, but I love that run. Love this type of run from Alex Morgan. Look at this. Holds her run. Great ball. Backspin on the ball to get to Alex Morgan. Good ball into the box. Those types of balls usually convert into an own goal.
Credit to Bello, able to get enough on it and was able to get out in front of Jaden Shaw. The outside back marking on the service. McCaskill bounced away from Shaw. Marta at full sprint, and Germa had to play it out of play, purely because Marta willed it so. Here comes the change for San Diego, and the night concludes for Alex Morgan. It'll be Caruso off the bench. This is Morgan's third game back club and country since the ankle injury suffered on April 19th. And the Olympics are closing in, and Morgan spot tenuous right now with so much depth in the American front line.
This is a really big call from Casey Stoney, I think. Not that Alex has had her best game, but I don't think she's been provided with much service. Maybe the minutes are still being managed based upon her only just coming back from that injury.
San Diego has played 42 regular season games with Alex Morgan in the lineup. They are 11-2-2 when she scores. They are 10-11-6 when she does not. And from Doyle, Watt isolating against Germa. Watt! Sheridan.
Ali Watt did really well there because, again, not many people beat Naomi Germa in a 1v1 situation, and Ali Watt does extremely well.
In toward Caruso, Sanchez. McNabb. Sanchez tried to get out there. Orlando has pulled it out. Watt needs to get onside. Instead, the run continues from Martinez.
What a run from Martinez. She even pulled in a bit of a nutmeg there as well.
It came up a bit awkwardly off that. Martinez in at outside back with Hafa Eli down, resting in Orlando. Coming off international break.
Look at this type of run from Martinez here. Nutmeg through McNabb. Continues to run. That's exactly what Seb Hines would want from his players. Getting into these moments and having the license to, I've touched on it before, when you have players that can drop in for you and you have that license to get forward from those defensive areas, it's a good position to be in.
Dahlkemper, magic wand of a foot, decides to play short down the right side. Shaw had a blistering run the U.S. national team back in February, is yet to find the same measure of form in the league this year.
I think as well for this San Diego Wave team, people always look at the manager and the coaching when they're in a bad moment. I think you have to also look at the players individually. They're just not performing, Mike. And it's difficult because when you watch practice, you watch them train, they look sharp, they look good, and then you get into a game. The back line, I think, have been pretty solid. I think they did a decent job on Barbara Banda, but I'm sure Casey Stoney is feeling the heat, feeling the pressure in these moments, but the players have to produce a little bit more. I think the back line, like I said, have been solid. I just think in those midfield areas, Savannah McCaskill, Dani Colaprico, they have to provide, they have to do a little bit more when they have the ball at their feet.
Touched by McCutcheon, now Doyle. Flip free, kindly to Marta. Chipped into space, Watts offside. You know, you mentioned Casey Stoney. Ultimately, she'll admit, last year, this time around June, the record was a little better, but she acknowledged, I was a little fearful for my job, but we're in a results-driven business. That's the nature of it. We turned around, won the Shield. Ultimately acknowledged that on this occasion against a team that's won 8 in a row, we are the underdog. They don't mind that siege mindset. They felt like a good reset after a solid performance, albeit not a win, against Angel City last time out in the big derby match. As Marta trots forward. Marta in her 100th NWSL game. Marta! Met by Sheridan.
Really good save from Kaylin Sheridan. You can see what she was saying to her defenders. You've got to get out to the ball. I think Abby Dolcapper does a really good job at recovering to try and put some type of pressure on. You can see Dani Colaprico trying to catch Marta here. But they're just completely on the back foot. You know, they're still overloaded. They're still 4v2. But it's Marta. This is what Marta does well. Nice little step over. Good save in the end. Always going to be comfortable. Good height for the goalkeeper, but Kaylin Sheridan does really well.
Marta, 50 goal contributions in the previous 99 games. 33 goals, 17 assists. Marta takes the corner. Sanchez. Orlando's preparing changes in a moment. Shaw won a free kick. Sheridan will set the play. Sidestepped outside, stayed in. Brilliant from McCaskill. Sanchez playing early. We'll have a second bite of the apple. Sanchez wiggles free. Ball whisked along. Finds a back post and eventually gets in. San Diego find their equalizer.
The strangest goal, Mike, because everybody just stopped. It was quite strange. It looked like it fell to Mackenzie Doniak in the end. But it just like, Anna Morehouse stopped the whole of the Orlando Pride, and I think they've done a really good job at, you know, with regards to defending this San Diego Wave team. But it fell to Mackenzie Doniak, takes a deflection in the end. Maria Sanchez, I've been quite critical of her during this game, but puts a really good ball into the box. But I think the deflection is the reason why it put Anna Morehouse off. But fair play to Mackenzie Doniak. Casey Stoney spoke highly of her. Was talking about managing her minutes tonight, brought her on at half-time, and she's provided.
Morehouse beaten by the deflection. Got a piece, but not enough to get it over the box. And Doniak, she's got goals in her. First of the season. Now the changes for Orlando. Summer Yates comes into the game. 3 goals on the campaign, including the lone goal in the last meeting between the two teams.
Yeah, those substitutions make sense to me. They were already, Seb Hines was already readying them before that goal even went in. And Ali Lemos as well will come into that area and occupy, you know, that midfield area. It's good to see her getting minutes.
Ball nearly found Sanchez, takes a deflection. Ball picked up, Caruso! Backing up, Morehouse will settle what would have been a boisterous moment at Snapdragon Stadium.
I like that from Caruso. It was good recovery defending from the Orlando Pride, but it was definitely on for her to hit this. And you can see the momentum has completely changed, Mike. Since the San Diego Wave team scored, you can see the momentum. It was a good ball from Savannah McCaskill to find Maria Sanchez, and it was definitely on. Just couldn't quite execute it in the end, Caruso.
Draw for Orlando keeps the season opening unbeaten streak alive, but it could end the 8-game record-setting win streak. Meanwhile, the Wave could move above the playoff line with a victory tonight. Doyle's night is over with Lemos coming on. Lemos playing with the under-20s during the international break, and then the first start for Corey Dyke concludes. And if you're Orlando, you already brought off your biggest weapon, joint Golden Boot leader, Barbara Banda. Here comes Shaw. Shaw slips at Caruso. Caruso set the cross towards Sanchez. It was all offside.
That's more like it, though, from San Diego. They're bringing in the changes now as well, but when they're getting into that final third and into the 18-yard box, they're looking a bit more dynamic. The movement is there. This is Jaden Shaw picking up the ball in these areas, and it's exactly when you want to go. Penetrate through the middle. Nice touch from Caruso. And these types of moments and actions is exactly where you want your centre forwards.
Shaw and Sanchez sit. Van Egmond and Jakobsen enter.
It's interesting because these types of decisions that Casey Stoney is making, Mackenzie Doniak's now come out to the left-hand side, switch sides, and I think the players can't argue. When you come off in a game and you're thinking we need to get a goal, it's the worst feeling when you get pulled at half-time based upon a non-injury related situation, or when you get pulled when you need a goal. But I don't think Maria Sanchez or Jaden Shaw can hold it against Casey Stoney for being brought off, because they haven't really offered much. I felt sorry for Jaden Shaw at times because having to drop so deep to get on the ball. But other than that, all of the front line, they just don't seem to be in form like we mentioned before, Mike.
And the reality is, talking with multiple players and the head coach, Casey Stoney, they want to get those numbers higher. That's not ultimately what they're attempting to do. The game just dictated it that way.
And I don't honestly believe that Casey Stoney would want to bring off Alex Morgan unless she has to manage her minutes. You know, Jaden Shaw, you need a goal, and you're taking those types of players off. I'm not saying Casey Stoney shouldn't do that, but they haven't really, you know, stated the claim for them to really be on the field to play either.
Well, Morgan's only played about 100 minutes dating back to the April 19th ankle injury suffered at the goal line, nearly scoring the equalizer against Orlando 7 games back. Majority of that came on Tuesday night against South Korea. By the way, Emma Hayes, good start.
Not bad, eh?
Former Chelsea manager taking over the U.S. national team to pretty good affect right off the bat.
When I saw her win the league in England at Old Trafford with Chelsea, and then about 3 days later, she was already in America doing interviews on Good Morning America, everywhere. And this job, I think, is the biggest job in the world. I've always said that. The pressure is on. She hasn't got much time to prepare this team. But the one thing that I think Emma Hayes will bring to the US Women's National Team is honesty. You know, we'll set them up in a way, and she'll have to do it pretty quickly because there's not much time.
Jakobsen able to hold off a Bello. Bello got a foot in. Jakobsen swim moves back into the fray. Van Egmond. Colaprico. McCaskill returns. Van Egmond. Deflection into Colaprico once more. whose season does this prove a microcosm? Orlando haven't conceded in the last 15 minutes all year. Last year was their undoing. This year it's perhaps their greatest strength. San Diego, they got the goal they needed to pull level. 3 wins in 5 games on home ground, 10 points in those 5 games. Can they get a win here that could springboard them in to what you and I discussed a bit with Krista McNabb, right? A 5-game run-in to the CBA break, the Olympic break. This could really decide the tenor of your season moving forward. McCaskill got popped by Marta.
At the end of the day, winning streaks will always come to an end, unfortunately. I think the Orlando Pride have had a fantastic season so far. This game isn't over yet, by all means. But I think the San Diego Wave need this result. They need to win. Not a draw, they need to win, because the pressure will continue to mount on Casey Stoney and on this team. And that's the genuine reality. I know they're not in panic mode yet, because there's still a long way to go in the season. We saw last year, Mike, final day of the season, everyone was in for the playoffs. And even some teams hadn't, won for 2 months.
Larroquette comes on for Morgan Gautreau. A little more firepower up the field. Gautreau playing at the University of Virginia with about a half dozen players that are all in the building today, along with the coach, Steve Swanson, who's alongside the San Diego Wave president, former U.S. national team manager Jill Ellis, right beside our broadcast booth tonight. It was like he was holding court after training, Steve Swanson. One of the great tactical minds in college soccer with the Cavaliers, and a proven winner, no doubt. You're asking McNabb about it, how she came into the league. Okay, the speed you can't replicate, but the tactics, said we got drilled at an early age about it. Picked up by the Wave here. Carusa! Carusa! Enough to get the fans jumping here. Carusa is a hometown kid, went on to Stanford and Georgetown, eventually overseas.
But this is the type of thing I think Carusa brings to this team. I'm not saying that she should necessarily be starting games, but she brings a little bit something different. Getting into these moments, how many strikes have we seen on goal from the central areas from the San Diego team? We haven't really seen any. And I think she offers a little bit of something different.
Carusa signed August last year. Couple of goals, former second-round pick for Gotham in 2019. Caskill. McNabb. McCaskill. Open header on the backside, looping off target. And Sophia Jakobsen found herself in an extraordinarily enviable position.
Fantastic ball in from Savannah McCaskill. I think Sophia Jakobsen has to do better here. It was a really good ball, and I think she could even bring this down on her chest. Or a nice little one-touch to Emily Van Egmond. Just inside here, you can see. And that's a poor effort in the end. It's a great ball in from Savannah McCaskill.
Only 4 goals for Jakobsen since arriving in San Diego. Doniak. That is a throw, not a corner. San Diego playing with moxie. About 20 minutes to play. They have a chance to unseat the top team on the table. Their 11-game unbeaten run to start the year. Outside to McNabb. Haskell, offside flag's gone up. For the first time, you can shop official NWSL merchandise in the Amazon fan shop. Scan the QR code on your screen now to shop your team's official shirts, hoodies, tank tops, and more. Sirens, as always, in full gear tonight. Great crowd tonight. Beginning of Pride Month, but the Pride match for San Diego doesn't come until their final match of June against Chicago on the 28th. This is a typical crowd in Snapdragon Stadium. The lower bowl mostly full tonight. Lacey Stoney, frustrated, felt that the high boot went unnoticed. San Diego and LA play on a given day. You'll have about 40,000 NWSL fans pour in at the bank in LA, up north, and here at Snapdragon. Pretty remarkable.
This is one of my favorite places to come because I think the stadium is exceptional. I love looking to my right-hand side and just seeing like the beer garden, the restaurants, and I just think it's fantastic.
You and I were talking, over in England, they don't do beer gardens like that.
They don't. They just don't. And there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stadium is fantastic. The crowd is great as well. And I think this is the best the pitch has looked. I said that to Jill Ellis before because obviously in the final, they're sharing the stadium with so many teams.
Yep.
We did the final here in November. There was a massive like logo in the middle of the field. The field didn't look great. Tonight it looks like a carpet, as you mentioned, Mike.
Meanwhile, the MLS team that'll join in at this venue in a couple of years, Chucky Lozano, the Mexican international, just signed to a massive deal with that club as they join in on what is world-class soccer already being played in San Diego. That got off the foot of Watt.
It looked offside to me as well. The assistant referee didn't put the flag up, but that looked like it was offside.
San Diego's done a really good job of just making Ali Watt a little offside all the time.
I was just about to say that. I think San Diego have done a really good job defensively. Their back line, I think, has been really solid. Obviously, apart from the Barbara Banda being able to get in behind, but there's some players who can't defend. But I think they've done a really good job defensively.
McNabb. Rico tried to maintain, able to regain. Van Egmond, advantage play. Van Egmond, that's headed away.
I could see why Van Egmond hit this one. It definitely lined up, but you could see Jakobsen was making that run down the right-hand side. Maybe was the better option.
And anytime a player suffers a potential head injury, rightfully they'll stop play. Ali Strom drops to a knee for a moment and will be attended to. I was just blown away listening to Kylie Strom. Talk about a player out of Boston University, led the Terriers to great heights in the Patriot League, ultimately undrafted out of college, was willing to play anywhere. She said literally anywhere. Tried out multiple places in the NWSL, landed in Boston. It was a really brief stint for her there that ended with all her belongings in her locker in a cardboard box right before the Breakers folded. She was cut, so where's she gonna go? Her host family allows her to stick around a little while longer, eventually makes the trek overseas, lands at Sparta Prague, where she really regained a passion and a love for the game again. And then you and I were blown away by this. She goes to Atletico Madrid at their absolute height in Europe, and they were just looking at maybe lower leagues around Europe trying to find great players, and they landed on her. Her agent called and said, "You aren't going to believe this. Atletico want to sign you." She goes, "No, I don't."
Yeah, and I felt like, you know, speaking to Kylie, and I was at the Breakers. I was at captain when she came to the team, and I felt really bad that she came out of college and came into an environment like that because we were hanging on, you know, for dear life at that moment. The team was so close to folding. She didn't get the contract, but her story is very unique, and I think it's really admirable, and I think we have some fantastic, you know, women in this league that, you know, do these things, and they've been around for so long, and I don't think people realize the journey that they've been on to get to where they are. And I remember seeing when Kylie had signed for Atletico Madrid, and it was when they were at their height, you know. I remember seeing on Instagram, and I'm thinking, wow, this is that player that came to Boston, couldn't get a contract, worked so hard, and now look at where she is, and she's a top person, and it's good to see people like that.
She was stocking shelves at the back of the soccer shop where you guys used to do appearances, right?
Yeah, and it's like just some of it used to break my heart genuinely, Mike, like seeing rookies in the league come in. Some rookies would end up retiring based upon their colleges being better. Isn't that crazy to think? And now we've seen how far the league has come because you don't see that happen anymore. It's attracting players to come, international players are now coming back. And I think it's such a great place and probably the strongest the league has ever been in.
You said a story of if you really want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. And that's precisely what Strom did and continues to do. The most trust and respect she's gotten from a staff to really go and get the job done, and she's changed positions as well. So I like center back a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, she thought it was only a temporary fix, and then she captained the team tonight from the start.
Ball in behind. It's a long run for Lara Cat. Sliding in, Sheridan able to pop this out to the edge of the attacking third. It's 1-1 with a little over 10 minutes to play tonight in San Diego. Naomi Girma with a leg up, able to walk this over the line. San Diego hanging in there. It's another good performance against an Orlando team that's trying to extend a bit of history. 8 straight wins. Coming into the game, it was 812 minutes. Now it's 890 since they last trailed. They've held the lead in those matches for nearly 70% of the games. The longest win streak in NWSL history is on the line. All the while, the 11 unbeaten to start the league season. They and Kansas City both unbeaten to this point. Change here. We had heard that Anna Lundqvist probably wasn't going to go the distance coming off the travel from Sweden. Westfall's going to come in for her here.
Yeah, and this substitution does make sense after managing the minutes. Players flying so far. I mean, I just flew the other day, Mike, and, you know, the jet lag is real. I don't know how I used to do it as a player, because you do what you do, right? You want to play in every minute of every game, but I compare it to, like, not that I've ever been to space, but like an astronaut, you know, floating through air. Yeah. And I see these players come in and they just get on with it, and they're just playing, and it's so admirable. But I think ultimately it comes down to also managing the players and the duty of care, and I think that makes sense.
Out to McNabb. That was the final sub for San Diego. Caskell. Pontiac's run was well covered, but McNabb sneaks in. McNabb hangs the cross, header away. Westfall circulating. Jakobsen. Caught by Morehouse. That front post run, if that were just a tad lower, could have set this place into rapture.
And again, getting into the good areas, but just poor execution of the ball into the box. You've got to pick someone out there. As much as it sounds, you know, hypercritical, you have to in those moments. Too easy to put the ball straight into Anna Morehouse's hands.
Sheridan. Colaprico. This is a very high-pressing Orlando structure right now. That opens up a pocket for McCaskill. Savannah McCaskill into the final third off the dribble. Van Egmond outside Jakobsen. Played centrally at Carusa and McCaskill. A corner for San Diego.
That's such a great ball from Kaylin Sheridan into the midfield to Savannah McCaskill. When you have a goalkeeper that is so good with the ball at their feet, that's exactly what she started the attack. Good play from Emily Van Egmond as well to play out to Jakobsen. You can see Emily Van Egmond wanted the ball back.
Three winless for the Wave. You can hear this crowd get fully engaged now. Set pieces monumental in the month of May for San Diego. McCaskill bouncing down, McNabb floating back the other way, and Morehouse claims.
I would say overall in the second half, I think the San Diego Wave team have got more of the ball. We saw that in the first half, had more of the possession, but the Orlando Pride team were up. I think they've done a relatively good game defensively in the back line, and I say that in the back line because I think Abby Dahlkamp has had a brilliant game. I think she's been San Diego's best player. I think Naomi Girma's had a really good game as well, but again, can't convert their chances. And all that really matters, Mike, is a win. You know, you can talk about possession and all those types of things, but a win, that's all that really matters at this point for this San Diego Wave team.
Notably, Dahlkemper not called in Emma Hayes' first national team camp. Told us yesterday, it's as good as I've ever felt. Took a little while to come back off of what was has a career-threatening set of back injuries. Change coming. This will be Alex Kerr off the bench. Ali Watt is done, and both teams have utilized all 5 of their subs.
I think for Seb Hines as well, you know, he's not getting too wrapped up in the streaks and those types of things. I think if they were to get out of here with a point, I think they'll be okay with that as well.
Orlando will go to North Carolina next week, and then we'll see them on the 21st, Friday night against Utah at Interco Stadium in Central Florida. San Diego is about to embark on a 3-game road swing. Sees them through DC, then New Jersey, then Houston. And I don't care what Houston's record is or where they're at. Houston in June. Also be the Sanchez return game. Foul. Free kick Orlando. That's the second card issued in this game. One by Strom off of Carusa. Put under pressure, lays it into the touchline.
I'm quite surprised that Kimi Ascanio hasn't got more minutes in recent weeks, because I think she's my favourite young player to watch in the league. I think she's got something different. We talk a lot about the young players in the league and they're fantastic, but I think Ascanio really hasn't got many minutes.
Ascanio not among the 5 selected off the bench tonight. Saw Barbara Banda among the players that came off the field for Orlando. That came at halftime. Olaprico. San Diego trying to score the first goal against the Pride in the final 15 minutes of a game all season. If they do it, it could well be a winner.
I also don't think this Orlando Pride team is a one-player team. We've seen that, you know, they used to win before Barbara Banda got here. Sometimes Marta would be on the bench to rest her, and then she'd come on and have to kind of save the day. But I think this Orlando Pride team has got such good quality, good role players that do their job. Might not always be the most glitz and glamour team, but they get the job done.
Another free kick. That comes with a card. Van Egmond this time.
Yeah, Summer Yates does really well in this moment. There's a foul all day long. Van Egmond just pulls her back. Good position for them to put a good delivery into the box.
Marta scored a screamer for Brazil during the international window. One of her 3 goals in 2 games. But I'm not sure even Marta can beat Sheridan from here. And that might be saying something. Has now scored in 20 calendar years for Brazil. Kimi Ascanio has been alive for 16 calendar years, to put that in comparison. Final minutes, Marta has a moment to extend the Orlando win streak. A chance at the spectacular. Marta chipping in front. Ball bobbled away from Sheridan and set off the line, the top of the 6 by Germa. It's still there, floated to the back post, out of play. Martinez. Wow, did that ball sit at the top of the 6 for a seeming eternity.
Yeah, Kaylin Sheridan can breathe a sigh of relief there. It's a decent ball into the box, but expect Kaylin Sheridan to just sweep that up. Naomi Goma does really well in the end. Unfortunately, this one could have gone to anybody. And thankfully for Kaylin Sheridan, it fell to Naomi Goma and she was able to get it away.
Marta receives the shove, lost the ball. Lemos.
I also just want to highlight, Mike, the role Hayley McCutcheon is playing in this team. I'm sure she never imagined that she'd be playing in this deep line midfield role during the season. And when we saw that lineup against San Diego in the return fixture, we were thinking this can't be happening, but she's done fantastic.
Morehouse, Polprico. Header flicked on, McNabb. Gesture from Dahlkemper to send back to Sheridan. Dahlkemper. Now Raquette chasing. Left a bit short. Westfall fell down. Simple for Germa to extinguish.
It's interesting because that's probably the first time we've seen Abby Dahlkemper try to turn the back line. Usually she's good at doing it on the diagonal ball. I think that's something that the San Diego Red team can really use to exploit teams when they're going up against them, because Abby Dahlkemper's delivery is brilliant.
Stoppage time presented by Nick's Professional Makeup. 6 more minutes. That's quite a standing tackle. Crowd incensed. Germa upfield. San Diego trying to manufacture a goal here. Nab. Polprico. Westfall. Jakobsen. Inside of Abello. Jakobsen. Tams racing. Leads wide. Marta. Wiggling through midfield, got knocked down by Carusa.
Well played, Marta, and well played, Sam, coming out the back line with the ball. Marta's drawing the foul in those areas. Really smart play. You could see she was looking to play it on the right-hand side. But it looked like that Raquette was actually offside. Foul all day long.
It's kind of that accelerate, decelerate. Even craftier in later years. Four more minutes. Marta leaps in front of Jakobsen. Van Egmond. Black stays down. Caskell. That's vital. The keeper off her line. Martinez, the ball caroms around, got away from Kerr.
You see here what Savannah McCaskill was trying to do, but that is such a great touch from Kylie Strom. Such a great touch.
3 more minutes. Competitive as can be. A wonder goal from Doyle in the 36th. Doniak in the 62nd. Martinez not on the same wavelength. Marta. Oh, wow. Marta whips this across. Got away from Sheridan and skitters onto Westfall. Unreal.
So good from Marta.
Turned over. Orlando into the final third. Dolkemper steps. Drives this end to Carusa. Orlando take possession again. All rolled ahead by Lemos. Into the pocket, floated ahead, Sheridan.
Again, well played, Abby Dolkamp in that initial moment from Marta. I thought McNabb should have brought her down, make a professional foul, because they were quite fortunate, the San Diego Wave, that they didn't go in the back of the net.
Does the last salvo tonight belong to San Diego? A ton of room to operate. Great first touch. Jakobsen. Throw for the Wave, another 40 seconds at least. Turn from Carusa. Lemos got inside. Jakobsen. Ball flutters all the way. McNabb into the stands. What'll be perhaps a fleeting final chance.
Yeah, I think the better option there would have been to Mackenzie Doniak, but they work it really well here. Carusa does really good to get the ball in. You can see Jakobsen was trying to find that window of opportunity. Lined up for McNabb, but I think the better option was out wide.
That is full time. The win streak concludes. The unbeaten run continues for Orlando, and the Wave swipe a point off the team atop the table. 1-1 in San Diego.
Yeah, I think that result in the end, you know, the Orlando Pride team will be okay with that. Yes, their winning streak comes to an end, but they didn't lose the game. I think for the San Diego Wave team, that will feel probably like a loss, because they need to get the results, Mike. And Casey Stoney will be really disappointed. They've not come away with 3 points. I thought defensively, their backline, Abby Dolkamper, absolutely brilliant.
And for Orlando, the unbeaten streak continues, even if the record-setting winning streak concludes. Now level with Kansas City, 13 straight without a loss in the regular season, both chasing Seattle from 2013 into 2014, 16 games. Stay tuned, we've got the post-match show presented by Nick's Professional Makeup. Talk with the equalizing goal scorer, Mackenzie Doniak. Wrap up tonight's action, look ahead to our next matches in the month of June on Prime. 1-1 in San Diego.
It's Nick's Professional Makeup, baby. #1 lip gloss brand in America. It's Nick's or nothing.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Because there's a right way to... Stop! And the speed limit definitely isn't...
700 million miles per hour.
So why would you pay a rate based on...
A terrible boss with a terrible haircut!
Save with... Ooh. Save with DriveWise and get a rate based on you. You're in good hands with Allstate.
all keepers.
Store more, share more. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us and get a great deal on iPad and Apple Watch SE. Connect with AT&T.
Some of the most brilliant minds in business. No, not you. Or you. You auto-track business income and expenses with QuickBooks. And you pay all your employees easily and accurately. And you have a business bank account with market-leading APY. Get the full picture of your business on one platform, now with expert help when you need it. That's how you business differently.
Shave it, Dove it. New Dove Advanced Care. Replenishes skin after every shave. From Spray One. For the ultimate post-shaving care, try new Dove Advanced Care Antiperspirant.
Welcome back to the post-match show, presented by NYX Professional Makeup. San Diego 1-1. The Wave just exited their team huddle. Casey Stoney describing not the result they were looking for, but a good point against this Orlando side. A 1-1 final result on this Friday night. With Leanne Sanderson in the booth, Mike Watts, Mackenzie Doniak scored the equalizer, joins us here post-game. Mackenzie, try and walk me through the value of this point, knocking a couple points off the team atop the table.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this league, every point matters. I think that showed last year with it being such a tight race. So every point matters. I think Casey was right. We're disappointed with not getting 3 points, but we'll take the one and build off this.
Mac, what was Casey Stoney's message to you when you came on at halftime?
Yeah, just be a game changer. I think she puts a lot of importance in those roles, and I think we all feel that. So, you know, I felt as a game changer I needed to make a difference, make an impact, and that's credit to my teammates. Maria hit a great ball, so I think it was just a team effort.
Yeah, we spoke with Casey Stoney a bit about your inclusion in this game yesterday at training, and she described you've got goals in you. You were in the right place at the right time. Walk me through the importance of that goal for you.
Yeah, I think it was very important. Like I said, every point counts, so to be able to contribute in that way. And yeah, as a forward, I always want to be hungrier on the goal, so it was just a good performance overall, and individually I'm glad I got that, but I think, you know, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie. Appreciate the time. All right, let's take a look at the match highlights. And look, Banda was what we expected, but only played a half tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's due to maybe she must have picked up a knot, because we know just how good Barbara Banda is for this team. It's a fantastic ball into the box. Great finish from Julie Doyle. The way the ball was behind her, and she was able to kind of get it on target and put it in the back of the net. It was a great finish.
So 1-0 at halftime, then in the 62nd minute. The equalizer from San Diego.
It's a good ball in from Maria Sanchez. I was quite critical of her during the game. I didn't think she offered much down the left-hand side, but it's a really good ball in. And I was wondering why Anna Morehouse and all the defenders stopped, but it actually took a deflection. Mackenzie Doniak was in the right place at the right time, and we know that every team needs a player like Mackenzie Doniak in it.
1-1 ends the Orlando win streak. Time now for the full-time stats presented by NYX Professional Makeup. San Diego had about that level of possession in that first half. We talked with Casey Stoney yesterday. If the chances weren't coming, I'd be more concerned. 19 shots, 5 on target.
I still think it's a concern for me, Mike, because there's 19 shots. Yes, they're getting into those areas, but only 5 on target. I think that's been the story of their season. They haven't lost this game, but I know you can feel like from this San Diego Wave team, they have so much more to give. Casey Stoney's, you know, mix and match the lineup. Carusa came in tonight in the second half, and, you know, I just don't feel like they've got the firepower in the front line. It's crazy to say because they have so much strength, so much quality, but they didn't lose the game, which is important.
Conversely, as you think about this game in totality, we're coming off the international break. San Diego has so many players down. If you're Orlando, Marta comes off the bench. Banda goes to the bench at halftime. Adriana and Rafaeli don't travel for the game at all. It was a unique game for Orlando in that they did grab the lead, and it's one of the rare instances in which they didn't see it over the line.
Yeah, and every coach has the same problem. You know, the international breaks, when they come along, every coach has the same problem, but this is a Friday night game, which is 1 day less rest from the players that are playing tomorrow and Sunday, so you have to manage the players in front of you. I think this Orlando Pride team, if this was last year, they would have lost that game. But they're showing the quality, the individuals. Kylie Strom, I think she was fantastic in this game. I think also on the other end, Abby Dolkamp was exceptional as well. So I think what we're seeing with this Pride team, the tangible quality they have, we're seeing it into fruition. They're not losing games, Mike. And Seb told us they weren't going to lose.
No, and they didn't. How about we take a look at the NWSL table, which proves it. These are updated now through Friday night. Orlando now on 28 points, top of the table still, and they will remain atop pending Kansas City's upcoming result. The Waves stay beneath the line by 2 points, but they've got that game in hand at the end of the weekend over most teams because of the early season Challenge Cup. Meanwhile, plenty of action coming. It begins tomorrow on CBS. It's Gotham taking on Angel City at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Then at Wrigley Field, the friendly confines, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Ion, Chicago Red Stars and Bay FC. NWSL Plus has coverage of the Washington Spirit that are chasing the top 2 in the league at the moment against expansion side Utah. And then Portland Thorns will try and rebound off their pre-international break loss against Orlando against the Courage. That's tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Ion. We've all seen games on baseball fields, but we've never seen a soccer match on that baseball field. Wrigley Field has a chance to be home to the biggest attendance for an NWSL regular season game ever.
Yeah, and I think the field looks great. You know, I played in a baseball stadium myself when I was with the Western New York Flash. It went viral for the wrong reasons. That pitch looks absolutely brilliant.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Wrigley Field in Chicago playing host tomorrow to the Red Stars. It is an electric couple of weeks ahead on Prime, however. The top 2 NWSL teams rolling through quite a bit next week. High-powered offenses dominant in Kansas City. 25 points, 26 goals, no losses. The Current hope to keep things going against national team standout Mallory Swanson and the Chicago Red Stars. And then on June 21st, Orlando returns to Prime. Barbara Banda and the league-leading Pride hosts top pick Allie Sentnor and the Utah Royals. Pride can sweep the season series against Utah in 2 weeks' time. You won't want to miss a second here on Prime. And that's a wrap tonight in San Diego. Our final score, San Diego 1, Orlando 1.
Inside is looking to close that distance and throw those elbows like he did in that last exchange.
Could be Joe's movement, the way that he's always stepping to the weak side, kind of shut down that left leg, and it's kind of opening up the right hook for Tawanchai. Can he find it though as he goes to a big left kick yet again? But Joe does good work to that leg, continuing to beat up that lead leg of Tawanchai. 30 seconds to go in the final round.
By Nottawa. Coming back is Tawanchai.
I still think this is anybody's fight.
Yeah, so close.
These final moments could make the difference. Tawanchai and Joe Nottawa going at it for the 1 Muay Thai World Championship. What a battle! This capacity crowd in Impact Arena have witnessed a tremendous confrontation between Tawanchai and Smoking Joe Nottawa.
And the fans in here are happy.
And the respect between the two combatants after they shared 5 rounds inside the circle.
Ray, I'm going to ask you, who do you have on this card since you're always putting us on the spot?
The fans won. That's who won. And we take a look at some of the action.
Right there, beautiful left hook to end the exchange. Look at that knee. Nice dig to the body. Didn't quite connect fully with the right hand, but Smokin' Joe did such a great job leveling up in the end of this fight, rounds 3, 4, and 5. I don't know how the judges are going to see it, but such a spectacular clash of two of the very best of Muay Thai. What a fight that was. It lived up to everything, all the hype.
This is one of those fights where you're sitting here glad that you're pretending to be a judge.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, Rich.
Well, both men certainly gave it their all. And Rich, neither
pretending to be a judge.
Yeah, 100%, 100%, Rich.
Well, both men certainly gave it their all. And Rich, neither man should be. I know that we're gonna have a winner loser, but you gotta obviously tip your cap to both men.
Absolutely, I think both these guys can go home tonight and know.
you.